Mass Effect 3 was a very divisive game back when it first released. I mean, when I think about it, in the modern day, it's a mostly perfect game. Like, gameplay is very fun, most of the story, while it kind of falls off after the first act, it does manage to maintain most of its quality. And then, of course, the ending was very divisive, and everyone argues about it to this day. I've come to have much more positive thoughts about the game as the years have progressed, since back when it first launched, my thoughts were very negative, especially towards some certain things that aren't going to be relevant to this video, so I'm not going to worry about talking about them. But after the Legendary Edition, I found I could appreciate Mass Effect 3 even more for what it was. And, you know, a lot of my negative thoughts had subsided at that point. Some still retain enough relevance to obviously affect the game's score, but not enough to outright hate the game. But I guess basic bitch insanity is just as bad, if not worse, on Mass Effect 3 than Mass Effect 2. And you're gonna find out just why as the video progresses. But basically, in some ways, it was much easier than Mass Effect 2, but in other ways, it's much harder. Because the results of Mass Effect 3 are highly inconsistent, at least comparatively to the rest of the series, or the rest of the trilogy, I mean. Because I don't even know if I want to do basic bitch insanity on Andromeda. That sounds like it would be even more of a nightmare. Alright, and also, like, just getting this whole, even just the intro here, recorded, has been a pain in the ass, because last time I attempted to do it, I was having, like, a big allergy attack or something, so my nose was constantly running, and I just decided I didn't want to deal with it. So now I'm going to try and do the whole thing. And, yeah, eventually this video will be edited down, put in some Archer references, because I've done it with the first two, I'm going to do it with the third. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video much more than I enjoyed playing through Mass Effect 3 on the Basic Bitch Insanity. So, just in case anyone is only just checking out this video, not the first two, the rules are as follows. I can only wear the default N7 armor and use the default weapons you start off with at the beginning. That includes the Avenger assault rifle, the Predator pistol, the Katana shotgun, the Mantis sniper rifle, and the Shuriken SMG, which I didn't personally use, but I grabbed it so that way I could upgrade it, so that way my companions wouldn't be useless. You know, Liara and Edie, I mean. I did, however, decide to do an optional, like, thing that would be allowed, and the N7 Lancer later in the game, the M7 Lancer, I think I said N7, that gun is also allowed only because it's the starting gun from the first game, and because it's literally just the Avenger with heatsink instead of, you know, thermal clips. 2, I'm allowed to upgrade my weapons, but I am not allowed to modify them with any of the mods. That means I can't put on scopes, extended barrels, extended clips, anything like that that could help me with running through the game. 3rd, I can't use ammo powers, and so I didn't have ammo powers on any of my characters because an optional objective is to have your companions follow suit. Because if you had your companions be able to use their armor-piercing rounds like Garrus, or even just carry heavy weapons, you could easily just get through the game much faster if you just give Garrus full AP ammo with the N7 Typhoon, and we're not doing it this run. And then other optional objectives, 100% the game, and like the ultimate challenge would of course be don't upgrade your weapons, literally just use the base level 1 gear. And let me tell you, it's probably not worth it. I have not yet seen anyone try to do the basic bitch insanity challenge with literally just default gear, with no upgrades or anything like that. Because probably people are smart. The closest I've seen is someone do Mass Effect 1 at level 1. That's it. Either way, I think that's about all the rules covered. I'm sure editing me will put in all the rules if I missed one. I don't feel like re-recording this. If I ended up missing one, I'm just going to go straight for it because, like I said, it was a bitch and a half to get this recorded, and it's a bitch and a half just to get the audio recorded. So I'm just going to get right to it, get the video done for you guys, and I hope that you will enjoy the final result. So, here's me answering the question: can you beat Mass Effect 3 on Basic Bitch Insanity difficulty? Okay, so, to start, we obviously go through the prologue, and it was 26 minutes with 0 deaths, and I wish I could do the whole bit that I did in the first two, where I literally showed off the one character that was fated to die, but we can't really show off that until the end of the game, because this is one of those times where BioWare decided we're not killing off a character at the beginning of the game. Afterwards, we move on to Priority Mars. The total amount of time it was to get it done was 58 minutes, and I died twice. It was not that hard of a mission. Obviously though, since I romanced Ashley, the whole conversation's about Ashley wondering if Shepard knows what Cerberus is doing was a little bit more awkward, which makes sense because Ashley is Ashley. Like, she didn't believe that Shepard was really in the right state of mind back in Mass Effect 2 since he was working with Cerberus. Understandable, but obviously Shepard's gonna be very patient with her because this is the basic bitch insanity Shepard. He already romanced Ashley, he wants to go back to romancing Ashley. We're not gonna do anything to jeopardize that.
Do you ever wonder if you, I don't know, made the wrong choice?
Like how I should have brought Ray with me instead of you? Constantly.
Alright, so on missions where it's literally just me going to the Citadel and it's not a fight, I'm just gonna skip the death counter. Basically, the first visit to the Citadel took 26 minutes. Afterwards, Shepard has a little nightmare of a kid, which honestly, like, that's one of the more creepier things about the game. Like, I get it, he saw the kid die and everything, but the fact that he dreams about that kid 3 times and then the ending, like, what? So it's kind of weird. His first mission after visiting the Citadel is Priority Palaven. It took 47 minutes and 4 deaths. I almost decided to use the Reaper weapon that's supposed to help you clear the end of the mission a little bit easier, but I chose not to do it. One of the rules that I should hopefully have put in with the indicator there that's supposed to talk about all the rules in case I missed any was heavy weapons should be left alone unless either A, you know for a fact you can't get through a mission without them, or B, if you die enough times that you decide that it's not worth trying to do things with just the basic weapons. That's the only way I'm going to allow heavy weapons to be used, especially since heavy weapons are a limited time thing anyways, so it's not like you're carrying them around on your back. So they are allowed, it's just I preferred specifically not to use them unless I absolutely had no choice, and I barely didn't have a choice. Also, a recurring theme you're going to see in some of these missions is that a lot of the times I don't die like in the beginning or the middle of the mission, it's near the end when suddenly something happens. Alright, afterwards we obviously go to Eden Prime to recruit Javik. That took 43 minutes and 3 deaths, which, yeah, that was a fun mission, of course.
Barry is a psychopath. That doesn't mean all cyborgs are like that.
But Cyril, machines can hurt people.
After recruiting Javik, I go to the N7 mission Cerberus Lab over in Sanctum, and unfortunately, since this is the beginning of the game, it took 32 minutes and I had 5 deaths. So yeah, it was not exactly fun. Afterwards, I did the Grissom Academy mission, Emergency Evacuation. That took about 56 minutes, and I had 6 deaths. Makes total sense because you have the frickin' turrets to deal with in one section, you got an Atlas, and yeah, it was not fun trying to find the right place to go to just to survive. After that, I quickly make another stop to the Citadel, and when I say quickly, I mean it took an hour and 10 minutes. But I just went, dropped off whatever quests I'd already obtained from exploring the galaxy, went and grabbed more quests to find new things, and, talked with people, of course. After we were done doing that, I went and did Priority Sarkesh. That took 45 minutes with 6 deaths, and yeah, if I remember correctly, despite the 6 deaths, the mission itself wasn't too hard. Like, obviously the Atlas part got a little bit more difficult, and I would always constantly, in this game, just because I knew it would make things much easier, I would attempt to break the glass of the Atlas just so that way I could get into the Atlas and try and clear out more guys before the Atlas explodes. I only managed to do it a couple of times, and honestly, it seems like it's much more difficult to do in the Legendary Edition. Like, you could straight up do it whenever you wanted to in Mass Effect 3, the original, if you were lucky enough to shoot out the pilot, but in Legendary Edition, it just seems much more difficult to do. Like, they literally seem to want to explode the mechs just so that way you don't get an easier time in the mission. With the exception, of course, of the moments where you can and or have to use the mechs, like at the end of Grissom Academy or the beginning of the Cerberus base, which we'll talk about later. Alright.
He's not unstoppable anymore. Ray's got bionic legs. But if you don't want to see 2 robots smashing each other with cop cars and shit as they fight to the death through the streets of Manhattan...
Stop. My penis can only get so erect.
After that, we went to the Attican Traverse to do the Rachni mission. That took 38 minutes and 2 deaths. One of them was at the very beginning, which is why I decided to make sure to establish that you can use the tools if you want to, or if you have no choice, because literally my first death was trying to run through the eggs just to see if I could do it, and, well, just watch the results.
Okay, but on the way, we gotta stop at a toy store and at least get him a stuffed animal. Something. That's like Meowschwitz in there.
After that, I did 2 N7 missions, Cerberus Abductions and Cerberus Attack. Abductions managed to take 11 minutes, and surprisingly I had 0 deaths, which honestly confuses me, because when I did the Cerberus Seductions mission with Insanity Shepherd, which that was the last episode that's been uploaded so far, and that turned into a massacre because my friends left in the middle of it. I had to go somewhere in the middle of it because I had hoped I was going to be able to stream, and nope, I get called and told, hey, I gotta go somewhere, and it took me 2 hours to get back, and there's Xavier trying to cover for me, and yeah, wasn't exactly a fun time. Either way though, it surprises me that Insanity Shepherd, I died a lot, but then Basic Bitch Insanity John Shepherd, I didn't die at all. Alright. Anyways though, with Cerberus Attack, however, that was 17 minutes, and I did die 3 times. Alright, and then when I went back to the Citadel just before going to Tuchanka to get all the Tuchanka missions done, it took about 30 minutes to get through everything, dropping off all the other stuff, making sure that I turned in things for characters who were going to disappear and or not be available once I'm done with Tuchanka, so I got that out of the way. Then, going to Tuchanka, the first mission, Turian Platoon, took 19 minutes, and I surprisingly didn't die, so that was awesome. I followed it up with Tuchanka Bomb, that took 31 minutes, 4 deaths, and 1 fail. And I say 1 fail because there was a character who died that wasn't me. That was, of course, Primarch Victus' son, Adrian Victus. Right? I think his name is Adrian Victus. Either way, no. He died in one segment because I wasn't paying enough attention to him. But either way, though, I was able to defeat the rest of the guys, and I'm pretty sure I didn't die except for at the end there. So, yeah, that end sequence is where the 4 deaths came from, I'm pretty sure. Finally, we finished things off in Tuchanka with Priority Tuchanka. That took 40 minutes, 4 deaths, and of course we cure the Genophage since we're Basic Bitch Insanity Shepherd. The most obvious thing to do is to be the Paragon character, so I, of course, cured the Genophage, had saved Rex before so he's able to keep the Krogan in charge, and I saved Malin's data so that way Eve can live. Eva's a different character, I forgot for a moment. And yeah. The two are hopefully able to live happily ever after.
Warning, temperature malfunction detected. Warning, temperature malfunction detected.
I've studied species Turian, Asaurian, Batarian.
Temperature now within acceptable range. Dispersal commencing.
My science studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model of...
So after another nightmare sequence of Shepard chasing after a kid, seriously, out of context that just sounds disturbing. We do some more stuff on the ship and everything, and...
Exactly. Wait, is that sarcasm? No, sir. Oh, good, because your opinion matters. Since you seem unclear on the concept, that was sarcasm.
Well played, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, we go back to the Citadel for... I was about to say Citadel 3, but no, it's Priority to the Citadel. The mission itself took 42 minutes, 4 deaths, and 1 crash. And yeah, that was kind of annoying, because I had to watch the Kai Lang cutscene twice. I mean, it's fun watching him get his ass kicked by a terminally ill drill, but at the same exact time, like, Kai Lang is just so inconsistent and so annoying. And then Shepard is made to look incompetent whenever Kai Lang's around in cutscenes. So, yeah, a lot of people don't like Kai Lang. Either way, though, it's kind of annoying to die in the mission, but we did manage to get it done in a reasonable time, so...
What if I shoot her, Mama's boy?
Sterling?
Yes. Picture her dead in the gutter.
Sterling?
And what your pathetic life will be like without old mommy dearest.
Jesus Christ!
What is
He's
it?
got an erection!
What the hell is wrong with you people?
And also we stop Ashley from, shooting us, and we're able to save her because, again, we're going for Ashley. So after that mission, we take some more time on the Citadel to do more side quests and gather up more side quests that are off the Citadel. That took about 51 minutes to get through, and yeah, obviously we met up with some familiar faces, we met some people who were affected by previous actions, just a lot of fun stuff. Then we went to Kalini to do the Ardok Yakshi Monastery. That took 45 minutes and 5 deaths. The little chamber thing, I remember, I had to run around it the whole time. I think both my companions died, and also another thing about this run, I went and got the incendiary grenade again because I figured consistency, and also it was bonus power from Ashley, so it made sense to me. Because a lot of the times, unless specified otherwise, like with Insanity Shepherd, I try to get the bonus power of my romanceable companion. And it just made sense to go for it in Mass Effect 3 because I'd already used it in Mass Effect 2. And I'd already set the frag grenades to be more effective against shields, so why not get the incendiary grenade to be more effective against armor? And I was not anticipating that having 2 grenade types, even though I should have anticipated it thanks to the multiplayer mode, having 2 grenade types doesn't give you 12 grenades, it gives you 9 grenades if you have both of them filled up, and I was very surprised at that. But either way though, we were able to get through it. It just was a bit, it was a bitch and a half. I was trying to say a basic bitch and a half, but like that doesn't make any sense. And yeah, wasn't too bad. We saved Samara because why wouldn't you? And we saved her one daughter. The other daughter sacrificed herself. Sorry, I got woken up early. Alright. Afterwards, we go to RA to rescue data server scientists, and I swear, in the name of all that is holy, why are Jacob's missions always cursed to have high body counts? Because I had 55 minutes and 16 deaths. Now, base game, this was the highest death count available. Because in the DLCs, I actually had much higher death counts at certain spots. I will tell you what happened there in a little bit. Because, yeah, I'm actually about to talk about the DLCs, but we'll get to it. Like, when I get to it. Well, I'll explain exactly what. Either way, though, Jacob's mission is just fucking bullshit. I don't understand why it had to be so hard for me to get through this mission. Why I died so much and everything, but we eventually got through it, and yeah, Jacob continues to be the punching bag of the community. Alright, so for the first DLC, which I kind of did a lot of things in an odd order, and also I hadn't locked in the romance with Ashley, so I missed out on some dialogue, which kind of annoyed me that I didn't think about it, but I decided not to change the course because it was already too late at that point, and I figured I'll just keep going with the game. I don't want to have to do the whole thing again. The Leviathan DLC took about 125 minutes, so 2 hours and 5 minutes, with a total of 6 deaths throughout all 3 missions. The second mission was probably my most successful because I remember not dying at all. So it was just a few deaths near the end of the first mission, which the first mission made me discover a strat I could literally just do that would not be a problem. At the very least, I think it's a viable strat for basic pitch insanity. It is, of course, the signature Joestar technique of, if you see an objective, don't bother fighting, just run to it. So, literally, that's how I ended the first sequence. They had brought back, like another Ravager, a frickin' Banshee, and a bunch of other stuff, and I just decided, nope, fuck it, just gonna run right back to the door since it's open now. Of course, discovery of the giant squids was also kind of a minor issue. Like, obviously, once you get in the water, everything is just a walking simulator at that point. Trying to get the thing charged was annoying. I ended up dying a couple of times doing that. I was hoping the mission would go smoothly, but yeah. Either way, though, we recruit Leviathan. We got Ann Bryson on the team as well. We just did good. Like, not exactly the best, but it was the least stressful DLC, is all I'm gonna say. Because Omega, in total, was 4 hours and 24 minutes, with a total of 20 deaths. And unfortunately, I wish I could say that was the worst of it, but that's the second worst. We'll get to Citadel soon. Either way, though, like, most of those deaths ended up being during the reactor part, when you're trying to protect Arya. I was running out of ammo a lot. It was not a fun time. And yeah, I mean, the robots, even though they have armor, they were pretty easy to take care of with the basic bitch guns, but yeah, when you run out of ammo, it sucks. So I had to be running around a lot, I had to be watching my ass, I had to make sure that both Arya and Irene were gonna go down, and it was just absolutely stressful. Though I will say probably the Archer bit that you're about to see was definitely worth it.
This is the last time you make me out a fool, Len Trexler. You wanna play me hard?
Phrasing.
No, I didn't.
Well, then you better nut up.
Phrasing.
Because I've swallowed just about as much as I can take from you.
Hey, phrasing!
Either way, though, we managed to free Omega from the one guy. Obviously, that part was also one of the hardest parts, but we managed to do it. Gave Arya back Omega, we took the guy into custody, and we just, you know, conquered it. Alright, so then we did a 5th visit to the Citadel, which took about 38 minutes. Yep. Had to quickly scroll down so that way we could do the next part. But I have to do it manually because I unplugged my mouse in order to record this. Now we go on to the Rannoch arc. Priority Geth Dreadnought took 47 minutes with 3 deaths. Yeah, it was fairly easy. I think the parts I got stuck on was in the room there with the computer that Tally tries to use, and then we have to go to the reactor, and I think maybe I died once near the end, but otherwise it was a fairly standard mission. It wasn't too annoying. We managed to get through it and move on to the next missions, which both of these missions surprisingly got 0 deaths. One was expected because it was, you know, Rannoch Geth fighter squadrons. Took me about 21 minutes to run through. I literally was just trying to sprint through the whole thing because I knew I wanted to get this done quickly. And then the Admiral Chorus mission took 26 minutes with, again, surprisingly 0 deaths. I was very happy with myself with that one. I just had to play it safe and easy and watch out for the bad guys, get the turret, and use that because turrets were not allowed, especially since there are sequences where you're forced to use the turret, so why bother not letting you use the turret? If it makes a mission easier, use it.
One of us needs to take those AA guns offline.
James, get on it.
Tech's not my specialty, but I'll pull a few wires, see what comes out.
Priority Rannoch, obviously was going to take a bit. It was 51 minutes with 7 deaths, and I'm pretty sure most of those deaths were literally just around the frickin' Geth, you know, juggernauts at the end of the part where you're just running through the base trying to kill off all the Geth and get to get to the right angle to shoot the laser at. And yeah, it was very annoying. Like, I literally, after the 4th death, decided, fuck it, I need to grab these guns and use them against them because there's no way I'm gonna beat it with just crap weapons. And even afterwards, it took me an extra 2 deaths in order to get them defeated, and then the last death was just because I got hit by the laser on accident. I was able to get through the mission, but yeah, it was quite the chore. So after Priority Rannoch, I went and did the N7 mission fuel reactors, managed to get that done in 19 minutes, but with 3 deaths. Then we went to the Citadel for 25 minutes to do Citadel 6. And we finally managed to lock in the Ashley romance. So yeah, we had fun there. Moving into the third act, we do Priority Thessia. Took about 47 minutes with 2 deaths. Kylane, of course, showed up, decided to be a badass, and annoy the hell out of us. I think you know exactly what character I'm going to be using for Kylane in these videos if you haven't already seen it. Cue the bit.
Can we still say that I beat you?
I mean, technically this shaft beat me.
Phrasing.
Suppressing
God damn, dude.
Afterwards, we do N7 Communication Hub. That took 8 minutes, probably the fastest of the N7 missions. But I did have 2 deaths. Make one more stop to the Citadel for 9 minutes just to finish turning in the rest of the quests. Then we go off to Horizon, which Horizon took 47 minutes and 3 deaths. I guess that was to be expected because seriously, what the hell? With all the Reaper, Banshees, and Brutes, it was quite the chore to get through them, but obviously we managed to do it. We managed to save Miranda and Oriana, and yeah, the cutscene actually looks fine since we're just using the basic bitch insanity weapons. So afterwards we did the Citadel DLC, and I was really hoping this would be the smoothest run, but nope, because it took 2 hours and 56 minutes to get the main campaign done, with a whopping total of 22 deaths. And fortunately, the secret Joestar technique came into play, because I could not defeat all those fucking assholes who are trying to keep you from the Normandy at the end of the thing, so I'm like, fuck it, just run through. It's not like I'm picking anything up anyways. I just wish I understood what Ashley was saying there, though, because since I was running, I had to, ignore what she was saying. But we managed to make it to the ship in time. Then, the boss fight was actually pretty challenging. Like, not terribly challenging, but challenging enough that it died at least like 6 times, probably more. I don't know. I'll make sure editing me makes sure to know exactly how many times I died in that mission, but like, yeah, that clone was tough as balls. And also, of course he was, because he was not doing the basic pitch insanity challenge. He was using a frickin' N7 Valkyrie, so of course he wasn't gonna play by the rules.
You should put this on to cover up your hideous elbows.
You had trouble finding something, didn't you?
Shut up, Lana!
The Aftermath, if we count like everything I did, took over 8 hours. Like, I'm not even going to try and figure out just how many times I failed in the combat simulator, but I'm going to let you know, I have tried to 100% every single game in the Mass Effect series, like, all the time. But this is literally the only run where I decided it was not worth getting the 100% completion bonus, because I could not for the life of me get the Armax Arsenal score of 9,999. Not with the basic bitch insanity weapons, not with the way I was playing, and not with the amount of times I had failed. I had literally given up on trying to get that done. I had completed all the other bonus objectives from the Armax Arsenal I was able to get, but I couldn't complete the rest of them until I had gotten that 9,999 score, and I decided it was not worth it. Please, if you guys do basic bitch insanity for yourself, do yourself a favor. If you don't want to count Armax Arsenal, you are absolutely fine. And if you are going to count Armax Arsenal, and you're gonna at least have all the companions do the basic bitch insanity challenge with you, be smarter than me, come up with the right strats, maybe even play a class that isn't soldier, that you can use like biotics or tech or something in order to make it much easier for you. Just do whatever in order to make it easier on yourself if you do want to get a 100% completion rating. This is literally the only game in the Mass Effect trilogy that I'm not going to just straight up go for the 100% just because the Armax Arsenal Arena got too stressful for me and I decided it was not worth it to try and 100% the whole thing there. Either way though, I tried to keep myself calm by doing all the fun little events with my companions, getting them all gathered up for the party, having the party, preparing myself for the inevitable. And, yeah, I mean, I guess it was fine. Obviously, it was different for me because I was playing as the default John Shepard who romanced Ashley, not my usual character that I would play as Zach Shepard who would romance Tally, or Thomas Shepard as the alternate Insanity playthrough showing off. But yeah, I just try to have fun. Prepared myself for the worst because then we have the last 2 missions in the game. Priority Cerberus Headquarters was fairly easy. It took 56 minutes to complete, and the 3 deaths I ended up getting were at the end when I was fighting against Kai Lang. Which makes total sense, because again, he's the boss fight. He's supposed to be difficult, but obviously he's just an asshole. We managed to get through it, though, relatively quickly, despite the 3 deaths. And, as you know, it's justice to do what you do.
Stop talking about candy bars, you zero. Wait, I could do better. The 3 Musketeers would pay a bounty of 100 grand to send you to Mars. Boom! Score! Is no one even gonna snicker at that?
Oh, just kill me.
Priority Earth, in total, if we count every single facet of it, since you could technically split it into multiple missions, just like you could with Citadel and Omega and Leviathan, which I didn't bother doing, I just kind of went through it. Total time for Priority Earth was 2 hours and 44 minutes, which could probably have actually been 2 hours and 40 minutes, if not for a certain factor I'll mention in a moment, and 11 deaths. This was the most harrowing part of my entire playthrough, for obvious reasons, because it's the final stretch. You're just trying to get through Reaper forces, trying to deliver a massive payload, getting swarmed by a shit ton of enemies there at the end, and then the fucking charger box on my laptop there, the little box part there that's connected to the charger, overheated like a son of a bitch. So near by the end of the mission, I suddenly was getting a drop in frame rates because my computer wasn't being charged. So literally as soon as I could pause the game, I ran downstairs, got 2 ice packs, put them right on top and underneath it, and just finished the game because at that point I was so annoyed I just wanted to get this done. Now as for the ending I chose, and the ending I would personally choose from now on, my ending for Basic Bitch Insanity, I'm sure you guys knew. I had the highest amount of war stats that I could potentially get, I was pretty sure at least. At least I had high enough to get the high EMS rating, which of course means that when you destroy the Reapers, Shepard lives. Supposedly. Which the audio itself got dragged in the actual recording. I don't understand what happened there. But that's not really the important part. Everyone always thinks that the Destroy is the best ending, specifically because the Shepard survives. But as I've grown older, I actually think that Destroy is not the best ending. At least if you look at the themes of Mass Effect. Or at least if you try to look at it from my perspective. You see, the game is not about Shepard being good or evil. Not in the normal sense, anyways. A lot of the themes of the game is about unity or division. Is humanity willing to try and help unite the races, or are they willing to do some very shady things that could easily divide everyone? And that's why I think when you compare Paragon and Renegade, you're not comparing good and evil. You're comparing selfless versus selfish. And that's why I ended up thinking later down the line why the switch between the colors was important, because in Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, the colors are kind of important to the endings. Like, obviously, in Mass Effect 1, you know that you did the right thing at the end of the first game if you played as a full Paragon, and you got the blue background, and you play as a full Renegade, you get the red background. And then in Mass Effect 2, they switched it up. If you chose the Paragon route to destroy the Collector base, you get a normal explosion, and if you choose the, with a blue sun for the Elusive Man, but if you choose the Renegade, you get the blue explosion with a red sun, which seems a bit weird that it did it like that. But then you get Mass Effect 3, and you get the selfish option, Destroy, has a red background. But the more selfless option, Control, has the blue background. And then you have Synthesis, which just is kind of a middle ground where you could just force everyone to be happy. But, like, I don't know. Synthesis still kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I personally think that the actual best ending is the Control ending, which I know sounds weird, especially since the Control ending, if you get the low EMS Renegade Control ending, actually makes Shepard sound much more malicious and evil. But just, if I look at it from that lens there of selfishness versus selflessness, I see the Control option as the more normal option for Shepard to choose, because we had to play as him as a very selfless character. But, again, I was doing basic bitch insanity. I'm not just playing a selfless Paragon Shepard, I am playing the most basic bitch kind of Shepard you can play. Which means I had to choose the Destroy ending, because that's what everyone else would have chosen for this kind of run. At least I think so. If someone literally does, can you beat Mass Effect 1 through 3 on basic bitch insanity mode, and, you know, just shows off that they decided to do a different ending, I will personally okay with it. I just decided to do things the way I see things. The most basic bitch ending is to choose the high EMS Destroy ending. That's literally how I see it. Alright, either way though, we beat Mass Effect 3 on basic bitch insanity mode. That was to be expected. Okay, to add insult to injury, my freaking Audacity there decided to stop recording near the very end. Fortunately, I didn't lose too much, so I'm just going to go straight to it. The overall playtime for Mass Effect 3 was a whopping 41 hours, plus 4 hours of uncounted footage, 146 confirmed deaths, 1 confirmed fail, and a ton of unconfirmed fails in the RMX Arsenal Arena. In fact, because of the amount of fails in the RMX Arsenal Arena, you could probably add an extra 6 to 8 hours onto the uncounted footage from before. And the uncounted footage mostly just, you know, refers to all the stuff on Normandy I've been doing every once in a while. So yeah, either way though, this was in some ways less stressful than Mass Effect 2, but in other ways more stressful. Obviously the best run of this game was Mass Effect 1, because on Legendary Edition, Mass Effect 1 is probably the easiest to do basic bitch insanity on. But, like, I can't really decide which one was the worst between Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. If you compare the times, Mass Effect 2 was 59.5 hours with 117 confirmed deaths and 13 fails for the one mission there with the Quarian that we were trying to rescue. But then you have a run that took less time, but with more deaths overall. So it could honestly be a toss-up between Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 as to which run is going to be the worst. honestly though, if someone else does do this challenge, please let me know. I would love to see how you reacted to it, how you may have done better than me, how you may have even come up with ways of winning certain scenarios that I definitely didn't think of. Like, I do implore people to try this challenge if you know, don't value your sanity and or think that you can do a much better job than me. That's really just all there is to it. Like, otherwise, I don't recommend doing this challenge if you're a normie. If you are a challenge runner, if you think you can do a much better job, if you can break my record, I implore you to. And if you enjoyed doing the run, then absolutely do it. Otherwise, though, yeah, that was Basis Bitch Insanity. I, again, don't know if I want to do that for Mass Effect Andromeda, or even, like, just for kind of retro format, just to do it on the original Mass Effect 1, just to see if it's any harder or easier. Probably not easier. I remember trying to do Mass Effect 1 before. I think it was just a basic, well, the proto-basic Bitch Insanity on the original Mass Effect 1, and that was definitely hard. Either way, though, it was fun to get through it. Annoying in a lot of parts, but I managed to do it, and I'm glad I was able to get it done. But I'm probably not going to be playing Mass Effect on the computer for a while. I hopefully will be getting back to the Insanity runs that I've been doing on the Xbox at some point in the future. Literally the only reason I haven't been able to do those is because I've had my grandparents over at the house for a few months. We're trying to get them moved into a nursing home, but yeah. Family scenario has been rough. That's the only reason why I haven't been able to stream off of Xbox and why I've been doing stuff off my laptop. Which, next thing I'm going to be doing off my laptop is actually going to be Dark Souls 3 as Asta. I've been playing through Dark Souls 3 on PC just to get a feel for PC controls in case I can't get myself a new controller that I can just plug in, because my previous wired controller I had, I broke, ironically enough, playing Dark Souls 3. So, yeah. I'm gonna work on that and get it out to you guys hopefully soon. Like, first I'm gonna get this done, then I'm gonna stream to YouTube, not to YouTube, stream to Twitch there, the Asta run, which will hopefully also save a lot of room on recording space, because gosh damn, Mass Effect 2 did not take up as much recording space as Mass Effect 3 did. I literally had to move most of the files onto my external hard drive just so that way I could finish this run. That's how bad this run was. So, in many aspects, Mass Effect 3 probably was worse than Mass Effect 2, just because of that alone. Either way, though, I'm glad this challenge is over. Thank you, everyone who watched the first two videos and who have watched this third one. If you haven't watched the first two videos but watched this one, first off, what are you doing? Second off, I'll make sure that they're put in the description there for you to check out. I definitely recommend that you give those videos some love. Mass Effect 1 has like over 4K views. I'll actually check real quick while I'm recording still. But Mass Effect 2 hasn't broken 100 yet, as far as more. Unless it managed to do it when I wasn't paying attention. But I don't think it has. Probably again because, yeah, no, it's almost broken 100 though. 97 likes. Not 97 likes. 97 views, 10 likes. So yeah, it's close, but it hasn't reached that pinnacle yet. But hopefully this video will get a lot of views too, just because it was a fun challenge. I'd hate to see it get ignored. Yeah, Mass Effect 1 was 4,416 views, 27 comments, and 146 likes. Literally, I think there's only one dislike, or maybe more than one, because the like-to-dislike ratio is 97.3%. Gosh damn. Either way, though, that's gonna be enough from me. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So if you guys enjoyed, be sure to do the usual accolades, like, comment, share, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. If you didn't like dislike, it's not gonna make that much of a difference to me. And I'm also trying to like do other side projects on my original channel that I'm just editing and everything. Like I just did one about Death Battle, which apparently has been confirmed to be coming back now finally.
well, at the very least, that Ben and Chad, the little gang there, they own the rights now, so they can continue doing the show. So that's cool. But I went and did a countdown on some of my favorites from the first 10 seasons. I don't know if you want to check that out. Maybe I'll also put it in the thing just in case. Otherwise though, it was fun, and thank you all so much for watching. I will, see you guys next time. Peace out, Spartans.
Gravity, you utter bitch.
Welcome back. Took you long enough.